Well, hello there. I just want to make a quick video. I haven't made a video in like almost a week, so I figured I owed you guys a quick video here, or maybe a longer video, I'm not too sure. But I thought I'd just go through my timeline feed, talk about some stuff, some things, some actual comments I got about a video I couldn't even find that I had made. I guess a topic I talked about, the idea of the image of the beast, but it must have been mixed in with another video I made, like an Operation Avalanche video or something like that. Like one of these videos here, or one of my memes to mumbles videos, or something that was a mixed topic. I'm not too sure, but maybe I'll talk about it a bit even in this video. Also, yeah, like before, I always say, check out my backups. BitTube, Google BitTube, Marimore the Red. Google BitChute, Marimore the Red. And even my Marimore the Red library, LBRY. I got that wrong last time I said it, but this is mostly just movies, documentaries, whatever. Different things that I'm not allowed to talk about on YouTube because, reasons. But yeah, as far as back to my timeline here, for the short period of time that I have a Facebook, I won't really miss it when it's gone. But just a few posts. I thought this was pretty interesting, did you realize that white and black aren't even colors? Eh? White is the absence of color, no color. And black is the absence of light, darkness. So it makes me harken back to the 80s, where if you'd look at an old driver's license, it would say Caucasian or African American. Now it says white or black. What's up with that? And so every culture group or demographic on Earth is allowed to be proud, except one. But I guess that's what social engineering is all about. They're trying to engineer some kind of helter-skelter, like this nonsense with Coca-Cola that just recently went down. What the absolute... The guy actually said it. I don't need to re-say it, re-speak it into existence. But it also makes me think of people like this. I can't remember this bird's name, but this little blonde white girl who thinks she's black or whatever, it's mental illness. But yeah, how can you not laugh at that? And then Michael chimes in, more attempts to foster fear, hatred, depression. We must all remember the system. The scum elite are terrified of the masses. I wouldn't even call ourselves masses. Masses like a mass lump of cancer. We are the people. We outnumber these punks millions to one. Actually, probably more than that. There's only about 8,000 top guys that run Bilderberg and all the secret societies. And the banking cartels, the people that get blamed for this, they're just bagmen. The topic of to Jew or not to Jew, real or fake, whatever. But convincing us to fight each other, of course, that's the design. Freemasons and Bilderberg seemingly adopting Charlie Manson's helter-skelter idea, which wasn't even Charlie Manson's, who reminded me of my dad. Charlie Manson really reminded me of my dad. All to push this fake race war, ultimately blaming it on the renegade Danites who control all the banks, fakes, finks, scapegoating the real Judeans, the Christians, and all things white America. It's by design, and sadly, it's what's on the menu. So the only thing you can do is detach from it. And obviously get out of cities. Leading into the next topic, look at all these people on the subway here. Not one without a mask on. And look at this poor sod. So while people call me a crazy conspiracy theorist, the blue pills out there now see this as normal or just extreme normal. Something to laugh at, I guess. But still normal because, deadly, pandemic, cooties 19, like whatever. Or even like this. This is a thing? That's a thing. No, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. That's like fear. Too much fear. People being devoured by their fears. Worshipping the altar of Cooties 19 requires copious amounts of stupidity, critical thinking, and common sense are completely rejected. I'd almost disagree. That's a byproduct of it on the surface, but it's not about intelligence. It's about wisdom, or it's about God giving you the ability to see it, not having scales in your eyes, but also fear, debt, and subjectiveness. And again, getting back to the topic of image of the beast, television. If TV tells people to do something, they just do it. like people right now believing that Cooties-19 is as bad as one of the zombie viruses from the Resident Evil games or something. That's insane. People are freaking out over this, yet they can't name a single person they know under the age of 50 that's died of it. These people just believe it, and it's like, where are the bodies? Where's the piles of bodies like the yellow fever, bodies in the streets with the yellow blankets needing to be buried? So many bodies, they can't bury them fast enough. None of that. But yet everyone believes Cooties-19 is the deadliest thing that's ever happened to them. It's like, ugh. Edward Bernays would be laughing at us right now. This is 1984 meets Brave New World on steroids while smoking cheap biker crank and watching War of the Worlds. And in the meantime, I'm just ready to go all John Rambo here and get a good crossbow and go live in a log cabin somewhere. 'Cause damn, son. And Juliana chimes in at the same time. I don't understand why people are acting like this. Fake virus causing their eyeballs to pop out of their head and, acting like all this different thing could happen to them. It was sort of the same thing in the 80s with AIDS. Everyone thought you'd get AIDS off a toilet seat or you'd get AIDS from looking at somebody wrong. It's same thing, Cooties-19. And like she says, it's ridiculous, and it's because of too many movies about viruses and too much CNN nonsense fake news. It's all fake news. Like, this meme says it all right here. Forget about it. Stop watching television news. And I says, yeah, too much TV. And in my opinion, TV and the internet is the precursor to the image of the beast that people talk about, that the Bible talks about. People marveling after it as their only source of truth. And at some point, the false prophet will breathe life into the image of the beast and create AI. There's already AI cults forming, people worshiping this nonsense. And yeah, making a video about it, or even right now, I could just call this one of the talking points in a new Operation Avalanche or something, but I was trying to tell her which video to watch, but I couldn't actually find the video link. And then Michael comments about the concept of this guy not wanting anyone to come near him because of Cooties-19, and what happens if he suddenly needs medical attention? Will everyone just watch him as he dies on the floor? Because everyone's too scared to actually touch him or whatever, because he doesn't want to be touched. And yeah, I just find that a bit sad, that humanity's mind map, humanity's mental cognitive map, was rewritten so fast overnight, within a year. I mean, I'm being metaphorical, I'm being allegorical, I'm being facetious, and I'm being, a bit egregious. But my point is they did this to us rather quickly. I heard Owen Benjamin say something interesting as well. No one who's into extreme topics like Flat Earth fell for Cooties-19. No one that I know of that went all the way in the truther movement has fallen for Cooties-19. On a different topic here, I guess, which is a quite different topic, which people can get their panties in a bunch about, is the whole concept of the pre-trib rapture, in which I had posted this Bible verse, Matthew 24, to wit it says, after the tribulation of those days, Yeshua Jesus will come in the clouds, hence the rapture, a word that's never actually in the Bible. But what part of after the tribulation does this pre-trib crowd not get, I guess? Hey? After the tribulation? And by the way, the tribulation and the wrath are two different things. And then I noticed the other day, John and John on DECIET put out a video about Mandela Effect and hybrids and whatnot. And I tend to agree with John's perspective about the Mandela Effect. A lot of it has to do with copywriting. We remember catchphrases and TV commercial adverts instead of the actual product. Like, for example, magic mirror on the wall, mirror, mirror on the wall, things like that. The Lion and the Lamb, I'm not too sure about all of it. There are certain things that ring hairy true with me, like I remember wet skins and not bottles for Bible verses, things like that. But I linked in a couple videos I had made because I agree with John pretty much. The Mandela Effect can't be multiple universes slamming into each other. Number one, it violates the first and second laws of thermodynamics. Who's creating or what created all the energy for that? And this idea of cosmic evolution, which is nonsense, as Dr. Kent Hovind has proven, with even like the simple fact that the universe tends towards entropy and chaos, not order. So how could a chaos machine create order? It's just nonsense. And as far as the idea of parallel universes, it's a science fiction pipe dream fantasy that people have so that they can meet the The daydream idea of meeting a parallel version of themselves, it's too much science fiction, too much Star Trek. If the Mandela Effect is real, it's some kind of reality manipulation. Some kind of like fallen world reality manipulation where the devil roams free, for now at least, manipulating it where he can. And not like the Matrix, like, I'm not talking about like computer programs, but let's be real here. Anyone who's studied physics knows how matter and a superposition works. That a table isn't really a table. It's millions of quark muon energy ribbons being held together by the electromagnetic field. So God created this place in a way, it seems, like a hologram. Or at least, if we were meant to exist in a fifth-dimensional state, however this fallen world got manipulated by Satan, this three-dimensional world behaves like energy held together by electromagnetism, not unlike a hologram. So, if Mandela Effect is real, my bid is that it's, for all intents and purposes, the devil trying to change things in the Matrix. And as far as the idea of Bible verses changing, of course not. The devil cannot change the Word of God. That's insane and blasphemous. But books in this world are just objects in this world. Yeshua Jesus said that the Word of God is written on our hearts. So the real copy is on our hearts. Not a book, not a digital thumb drive, not a scrawling tablet, not a bad edit or a worse edit, but on our hearts. So objects in this physical world, if you pick up a Bible and something doesn't seem right, to me that would say that the Word of God is written on your heart. But at that point, John mentioned something that the Mandela Effect is true in that regard, because there are so many corrupted edits, purposeful edits, just to get around copyright and whatnot. So yeah, it's an interesting topic. And then I also chimed in, though, how it pisses me off that the X-Files has clearly been punking us. Like, I used to like that show as a kid before I was a Christian, thinking that aliens were real, not realizing that aliens are Nephilim. And yeah, that's the look on all the truthers' faces out there when they realize that the X-Files is punking us, pushing that whole alien agenda, Anunnaki nonsense, when in reality it's just the continuation of the Nephilim and the fallen powers and principalities of darkness. But I guess, whatever, right? Feel the CERN, right? And then, yeah, I guess the next post here was insomnia. I got bad insomnia, chronic insomnia, hypersomnia from PTSD, whatever you want to call it. Whatever I suffered as a kid. I can't really remember much before grade 7. Yeah, that's not weird or anything, as I've said before. But, yeah, I wouldn't mind getting off this trauma ride. I guess it's just sort of like flashbacks sometimes. But you get the insomnia. And so at this point, I was like, current mood, Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan, where are your legs, Lieutenant Dan? But yeah, and then Brandy chimes in, try some valerian root and get more exercise. And it's like, yeah, I know all that. I do, I really do. I quit coffee even once for half a year, except for a few cups in the morning, and nothing changed. It has to do with my hyperactive ectomorphic metabolism. Maybe it has to do with O positive, O negative, RH positive bloodlines. I don't know. Maybe I got jacked. Maybe my DNA was messed with. I don't know. I really don't know what Grandpa did or didn't do. I really don't. I do know that something happened, because this whole MK Ultra thing as a kid, I mean, my record for insomnia is 92 hours. That's almost like 5 days. Do you know what it feels like to go that long? And I'm not talking about crackheads and people who have to smoke drugs to do that. But just to be a normal person who can't sleep, after about day 4, you start buzzing like a fridge. You know, you feel like you're inside a light bulb. And then Brandy chimes back, the Fight Club quote is hilarious. But yeah, 92 hours. I went 3 days once. I couldn't even stay awake. Functioning but blacked out. Trying to work, taking people's money somehow, in obviously whatever job she works at. I used to have insomnia bad, and they had me on Ambien. It was the only way I could sleep, but eventually I got off of it, and I don't have any. And she says she doesn't have any of the MK Ultra thing, though. I'm like, yeah, well, most people I wouldn't say do, but insomnia, I don't know how common it really is, but for me, it's plagued me my whole life. I can't even control my schedule. And like I said, I've made a video about it, whatever. I'd almost like to remake this video again. For me, the only thing that can knock my metabolism out is like to just quickly drink a 6-pack or something and fall asleep. And that ain't no kind of answer either. I don't like to drink, as she was saying, that could cause blackouts or whatever, which can lead to alter shifts in the case of MK Ultra, and that's dangerous to have an alter shift. If you black out, you shift into an alter. It's like giving your keys to a stranger, to someone you don't know, and then someone else is at the wheel. That's bunk. She chimes back in, that's heavy, but I'm really interested in it. I'll start watching some of these videos. She's reading Behold a Pale Horse. I'm like, yeah, that's a heavy-duty book. I read the book online. I tried to find a copy. I couldn't. And she's thinking it makes her harken back to her childhood dreams and insanely realistic dreams about demons and sleep paralysis, and that her grandparents raised her. Just wondering, so maybe she was being attacked. Could be. I got a little prayer thing for that I made. But yeah, Bill Cooper, he came to believe that the whole aliens thing was a smokescreen. Like the Nephilim research that guys like Rob Skiba or CE4 research group, Joe Jordan, MUFON, realizing that aliens, these so-called aliens, are hurt by prayer. Bill Cooper got into this because when he was in the military intelligence, high-level guy like my grandpa, although Bill Cooper never was required to join the secret societies, he sort of fell between the cracks because he was demolay. Later realizing who guys like my 33rd level grandpa were, he got out, obviously. But he saw an alien ship go underwater, slamming into the water at speeds that would cause the vehicle to disintegrate, you know, like slamming into a wall. And how this thing's electromagnetic field managed to part the ocean aside and it just went in. And he said witnessing that changed his life and forced him down the path that eventually got him murdered, talking about the false French fry that was 9/11. However, that being said, like I said, he came to believe the whole aliens thing was a smokescreen lie. The alien agenda, Anunnaki nonsense, spoken of by guys like Gonzo Shimura in his film Age of Deceit. But yeah, as far as the whole sleep paralysis and demons and whatnot, I made this little prayer. Because now as a Christian, I obviously don't endorse astral projection and stuff like that. But me and other family members all have memories of stuff like that. What they would call the Montauk chair trip seats, the CIA remote viewing program, things of that nature. Even the idea of being projected into clones yourself to deal with certain situations, retrieval teams. I have memories of hostage negotiations, being shot at point-blank range, part of an assault team trying to neutralize people who had taken over a school or something. And so, yeah, as far as the idea of sleep paralysis, though, here's a little prayer I made, this little meme I made. Yeshua, Jesus, the Son, Yahuwah, God the Father in heaven, please protect us from such things as night terrors, sleep paralysis, evils like succubi, incubi, much less REM downloading, astral attackers, forced astral travel, or lucid dream travel. Because these things are real. And once you astral project, or you know anyone who has, or you've seen the studies, you realize that that's proof of a soul. And again, I say, I believe the soul and the consciousness are two different things. I believe our consciousness, I think therefore I am, the nature of self, is a byproduct of the soul being in these bodies. I believe our souls actually stay in our bodies, and it's our consciousness projected out along the silver cord. But as far as the topic of insomnia, yeah, my doctor said it's what's called hypersomnia. I've actually heard Donald Marshall talk about that too, where he said that staying up longer to try to avoid being REM downloaded, and then you just end up sleeping longer with insomnia, which is true. You sort of fall asleep finally after a bad insomnia binge, and then you're out for like 15 hours, and then when you wake up, you feel like Han Solo out of the carbonite with some hibernation sickness or something. And Jennifer chimes in about how insomnia breaks her down, nervous breakdown, that kind of thing, dealing with other people's problems. And Jacqueline was like, if you figure out the insomnia thing, tell me, because I'd love to sleep too someday. I hear you. I mean, with problems in the world right now, like I was saying before, the whole Cooties 19 thing, everyone's worrying about Cooties 19. It really pisses me off that they're pushing all this fear on us, like that's the real virus. And you got Umbrella Corporation and all these psychotic Sith Lords like satanic Bill Gates pushing their vaccine, and then in reality, Cooties is mutating into something far more sinister, and that meme wasn't very big, not very big at all. But yeah, it started as a virus and it's mutated into an IQ test, I think. Because I sure won't be taking no stabby, thank you very much. I mean, you try to stick me with your pins and needles, filling me with this CRISPR crap, and you will see me freak out like you've never seen a person freak out before. You know, who wants to be a Nephilim? Well, if you don't want to be a Nephilim, don't let them change your DNA. Genetically speaking, that's even what the whole flood was about. People want to freak out and call the God of the Old Testament violent and genocidal, but it says clearly in the book that Noah and his family were the only real humans left, and everyone else had been mutated into Nephilim. So when you think of it in the sense of like body snatchers, or you really want to get into the idea of aliens invading, if the Nephilim take over humanity and they wipe the rest of the actual humans out, like they tried with Noah and his little menagerie, well then the flood and what people would call genocide was actually an act of love, because it's the only reason we're here today. And this madness continues on. Like, look at what's going on in Israel right now. What? That's madness. If people can't figure out that this was all planned, then maybe they never will. Or maybe it's one of those, the great deception things that they can't. I mean, this clown shoes thinks he's a doctor. Picking your nose, boyo. Picking your nose. Giving you a wedgie and throwing you in the pool. Because without your little Halliburton Monsanto army behind you that you bought with all your Microsoft money, you're pretty much nothing. These guys don't mean to brag, but they have the same medical degree as Bill Gates. Not to mention how the Muppets got banned by the SJWs. But you know, that's what we're dealing with these days. We are in the upside down. Right now, Dr. Evil makes more sense than all these television, CDC, World Health Organization, tyrant Nazis who apparently seem to think that they can pass laws. Or what, mandatory mask laws that never existed? Yeah, no. This is what I would call bonkers. Much less the idea of death statistics being skewed. Like, this meme says it all, and then the Facebook fact-checker Nazis have to get in there, of course, because, you know, Nazis gotta be Nazis, yo. But yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. I guess this is the video. I just wanted to make one because I hadn't made one in a week, and so here we go. I thought I'd just sum it up with random rambles scrolling through my timeline, because it's like easy to make a video like this. You're pretty much just reading off stuff, right? And that being said, you don't really have to do a script or anything. It's not that this is a script. It's like if you were to pick up a random book on the shelf and just start reading, you could make a video about anything for the long and short of it. I mean, basically, right? Yeah, picking your nose too, Ryan Reynolds. But anyway, back to the top of my page here. I guess that's all I got to say about that. In this time of sorrows with these nonsense pandemics, just try not to deal with the crazy people. Stay out of the cities. I mean, for me personally, I've always been a hermit, so it wasn't like there was a big change in my life. I mean, I get through the day. I study a lot. I do a lot of research. I make videos, or I used to make a lot of videos. Now, if I just want to relax, I'll play video games, sometimes to relax. Like that Skyrim game got me through the winter as far as boredom and something to do. I actually was thinking of making a video about the Skyrim mods that I use. I was going to make a video about how to really mod up Skyrim, but I'm no expert on that by any means. I was more like thinking of the mods that I use. Or even this, before I go here, one last topic. I was watching ODDTV's new video about pharmakia, the definition of pharmakia, and the biblical significance of what it means. And when I tried to link it to my Truther chat, I noticed that Facebook is now censoring all my thumbnails in the Truther chat. So like, I tried to link in a video and it just dubs up. I don't get a thumbnail. Okay, that's sweet. But when I try with other messenger windows, I send it to my uncle or I send it to myself, the thumbnail works fine. But when I try to send it to the Truther chat, nothing. So I thought that was pretty hilarious. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all their AIs are all, I guess, working together. I've actually heard that in 2010, a general Skynet type AI was released online, and now they claim it's smarter than the collective of humanity, and it's copied itself onto all our phones and devices and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. If that's true, I rebuke it, and I pray Yeshua Jesus protect us from such things. I mean, the Bible does say the devil kind of has the principality and power of the air, but piss on him anyway, right? The devil can get bent. So I just pray protection and continue on with what I've been doing. And at that, I'll just say, peace out, baby.